Hello, this is Jejin again. Yeah. So today I'm gonna share a video about teens. Yeah. So I'm planning to make a few more video about teens. I think there are many different sort of aspects that we can talk about, where we can learn about. So I'm thinking there will be a few more videos about parenting teens, right? So I've done some research. There's some videos and articles about parenting teens. As I just research and learn more about teens, uh, I really want to emphasize this. It is very important for you as a parent being educated on teens. It definitely help you, and then I think you must. I think you must be educated if you have a children, if you have a teens, you must be educated on teens. So definitely. So if you just kind of look into it, you can easily find some scary statistics, right? So the age group, right? So the teens age group, like 13 to 18 or 12 to 18. I saw 20 to 30% of teenagers this age group is thinking about committing suicide every single day. And these teenage groups are suffering anxiety and depression quite a bit. And I don't know, it was one of the state, I think that was Utah. One of the top cause of death in the state was basically the teen suicide. So this is something that you need to be, I think we as a parent need to be serious about. And being educated on teens is really help you and then help your children. So yeah, I just want to say one more time. If you are parents and then your kids will grow, and please be educated on teens. Yeah, cool. So the video that I'm gonna share with you, is it's one of those TED Talk again. I'm gonna put the link in the description so you guys can go ahead and watch. So the title of this video is "Parenting Teens." We are making harder than it needs to be. That's the title, and the speaker for this video is Dr. Cameron Caswell. Yeah. So this video is pretty recent. I think a few months ago it came out in the TED Talk, and she is. I look her up online, and then she is adolescent psychologist. She has more than 2 decades of experience in this area, and then her specialty is, yeah, definitely the teens, adolescents, and having a strong and positive relationship between teens and their parents. I think she wrote some books about it. She is a TED Talk speaker, and then I think she has a coaching mechanism. I think she has some framework, something called like Prime parenting framework that helps parenting teens to work together, to understand each other and all that. So I think this video was very very helpful. This was very very good to start. I think I choose this one. Maybe I choose this one as a introduction to teens, like teens one-on-one video. I think so. It has a very the reason I believed it is it actually gives you a perspective. So it needs to so that's a as a teens parent, you need to have this particular mindset, right? So it teaches you, the video kind of explain how what kind of mindset you need to have to parent your teens, right? So to talk about a little bit more about her video. So definitely, I highly recommend you watch it. But she mentions about these three obstacles in connecting with your teen, and each of them I think is very very refreshing. I think in a way, so something that you haven't thought about, maybe you overlook, right? So first thing she mentioned about is wrong beliefs, the belief issue about teens, right? So what she mean is our belief on teens need to be changed, and if you think about it, I'll use the problem is confirmation bias on teens, right? So you talk to any people, we commonly like parents say, oh, you have a teen, you're gonna suffer a lot. It's a hard time to have. It's very very hard to raise a teenager kids, And yeah, you're a super mom or super dad, you having a two or three teenagers in your household, and it's, I mean, so the perception, or this common perception on this teen is mostly negative, right? Is they're disrespectful, irresponsible, they're rolling their eyes. So there's a whole this negative sort of belief, and it actually calls a confirmation bias. So when you saw this, so you look for things that actually what commonly the wrong perception on teens will happen, right? So she says because of this confirmation, she didn't use the term confirmation bias, but I think you need to look at you need to get rid of this wrong perception, wrong belief about your teenagers, and then look for the right thing. That there's a positive thing going on, and do not overlook those positive things because you have this wrong belief about children. So that was the first obstacle that you need to get over. And the second thing is about assumptions that you're making as a parent, right? So it kind of related to the confirmation bias you have. So you're kind of basically as based on this perception on your teens, you may make a lot of wrong assumptions about your children. So like certain behavior happens, and she is an example of playing video games, their son playing video games, or the behavior, right? So she basically said that your teenagers is not motivated, or they're sitting down and trying to think about how to make your life miserable. That's not the case. They want to get that they want to be heard, right? So to just get rid of this wrong assumption about your children, your teenagers is very helpful. And try to understand, right? From giving them benefit of doubts, try to listen what they have to say about what they're doing, and then this communication is a key for that. So that was the second sort of obstacle for connecting with your team. And third is on how you approach the parenting teenagers, right? Uh, so she gives an example, very simple, very common sort of a strategy that people parents have, right? So let's say your kids, your teenager don't clean their room, right? So you go there, and the strategy, very common, popular strategy she mentioned is you nag, or yell, and then yell, and then take away their devices. So I mean that's kind of logical way. You're trying to sort of motivate them and to tell them to clean their room by themselves. But it doesn't work, and then you yell them, and it doesn't work either. And then in the end, you just take away the devices as sort of a punishment, right? I mean, like, and most of the cases end up being taking away the device. I think that's the punishment at the end that gets you what you want them to do, right? So she mentioned the negative consequences of punitive parenting, right? So you don't want to get there, and then it never actually works, right? As a punishment, or as all this uh, you know hitting, or the using that as to get your children to do what you want from them. So the approach has to be changed. And she mentioned like how you can help, right? To clean their room or doing their homework, and that approach should not lead to just the punitive parenting, right? So I think this was very interesting. I think the way she described how you look at teenagers, uh, I think it actually changed my sort of initial. It break my sort of perception on teens, and I believe this one is very very helpful for me. This is why I wanted to share with you. So basically, my thought on this again, as the first video of the teens, please be educated. So I think if you can find, yeah, there are many resources out there. It is helpful for you. So go ahead and do the research and then learn more about teens, and have the right mindset, right? So just like you mentioned, just like she mentioned about the confirmation bias. Just get rid of this confirmation bias about teens, and I believe you can make an exception for this, right? So this having a tough time having raising this many teenager daughter, teenager sons, make an exception for it. I think I'm gonna make an exception for it. I'm gonna have the most fun and interesting, most connecting time throughout their parenting time and their time their kids time from the birth to 18. I think you can make this teenager time the most satisfying, happy moments. I think you can do it definitely. And also you need to think about just your kids. The teenager time is a time the kids are transforming from this helpless child, right? Something that you can easily control. They're helpless. They're depending on you, and then you get control over whatever they do it, right? But they're becoming an adults, right? They have to transition. You don't want to make them adult child, right? So you need to understand they are growing, they are transforming, and I think we should not. So it's very confusing. And it's not a child. It's not an adult. So don't expect some mature and a very very logical behavior or talk from them, right? So just have the expectation in that way because I think you didn't mention about this, but they're physically changing as well, right? They're still growing. They're teenager time. They're still growing, and they're physically changing the growing. The brain is still growing, right? So that's it. There's a physical reason why they have a high mood swings and then they're angry. They seems like angry all the time, but it's not because of their emotional thing. It's a brain development actually caused that, right? And now this anxiety and depression actually comes from this constant development of their hormones, right? As they go through the puberty, and then they're developing their hormones, so they're physically changing. They're physically developing themselves, right? So their mindset, that their brain is developing, their body systems are changing, and they're going through this helpless childhood to adults, right? So you need to understand what they are at that time frame, at that age, right? So again, you need to educate it on that. You need to understand what's going on with them, and you cannot just be angry because they're disrespectful to you. And there is a reason for it, and there is a way you can approach this. So accept this, rolling their eyes, being disrespectful or irresponsible, or they never listen to you. But just pay attention, and then I'm gonna share more strategy. That I think there are more resources about it. And please, yeah, be educated and have a right mindset, right expectation. That will definitely get you. Yeah. So, yeah. So this is first video for this, and I guess yeah, we'll see you in the second part of the teens parenting teens. So, thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye.